Welcome into the Rundown, the first of the 2023 calendar year. Frank the Tank, Jersey Jerry. How we doing, guys?
Great. Frank?
Well, the New Year started and I'm already down one pair of glasses, and this pair of glasses isn't looking too well either.
What could make them look better is a little bit of High Noon, who's our presenting sponsor. High Noon is a hard seltzer made with real vodka, real juice, and sparkling water. It's actually made with vodka, not malt like other hard seltzers. Real vodka, real juice for real fans like us. 3 huge fans right here: Steelers, Dolphins, Bucks. Head over to your local liquor store and get some High Noon today. Where's some of your guys' favorite High Noon? Have you tried the pear yet? The pear is very tasty.
Frank?
Well, I don't drink alcohol, but if I did, I would like the black cherry probably.
I mean, this is the worst cast to ask this to.
That's true. Fair. In fairness, I did not realize that when I asked that. So I will take that. That's on me.
I will say this, though. This is probably the 3 biggest diehard fans in the office.
For football teams,
Football, yes.
probably right. I would throw in Frankie Borelli with the Islanders in that group for sure. To close this out, head on over to your local liquor store and get some High Noon today. Yes, 3 big fans for sure. I think everyone, at least for a couple days, is fans of the Buffalo Bills and everything they're going through with Damar Hamlin. Just an awful, awful scene last night in Cincinnati with him making a tackle and then almost immediately going into cardiac arrest on the field. They had to administer CPR.
9 minutes straight, right?
9 minutes, yes. So his heart stopped. And this is as of, right now we're taping this. It's a little after noon Eastern time. He still is in the hospital. His family issued a statement. Things weren't looking great. Obviously, he's in critical condition as of right now. But what are your guys' thoughts, Frank? You've seen obviously a ton of football and sports in general. Have you ever seen anything like this during a game?
It reminds me of Hank Adders.
Yeah.
You guys are too young to remember Hank Adders, obviously, but Hank Adders was this absolute star at Loyola Marymount College basketball. He led the nation in scoring in 1989. Now, the next year, he had like a little heart ailment. He collapsed, I think, during practice, and they determined that he needed to take some medication, but he was struggling with the medication, and then he wanted to start getting his draft stock back up, and so when the conference tournament started, he basically stopped taking the medication. He did this slam dunk, and then he was running back to guard Eric Spoelstra, actually.
Wow.
And he collapsed on the court and died.
There was
And
a 30
Loyola
for 30
Marymount,
for that about, right?
yeah, Loyola Marymount went on an incredible run afterward. Went to the Elite Eight, losing to UNLV, but and they were just this high scoring, just this.
Yeah. Were they Paul Westphal?
Paul Westhead.
Paul Westhead, yes.
I thought it was a concussion at first. I didn't even.
Yeah, it was weird because he got hit
weird.
kind of
Under the chin.
but I guess.
But the shoulder, I think, hit the chest.
Yeah, I mean they're wearing like the chest protector, but you never know, kind of.
Yeah.
This is. I don't want to speculate, but this is more probably likely of some undiagnosed heart condition. That would be my first guess is what actually happened.
Yeah.
I watched a video last night on Twitter, and it was this guy, this doctor, explaining.
Pro football doc?
I don't know if it was him, but he was explaining if you get hit in the chest with that much impact, it has to happen at the right amount of time. Like your heart, there's like 4 different things it goes through, and on the way up, if you get hit at that exact, it's like millisecond, it can cause cardiac arrest. Even like a punch to the chest.
That actually,
it's very scary.
That's actually happened to in Little League baseball. A number of kids have died, and there are some pitchers that wear like this
chest
protector, like this little flak jacket, because there's been a number of times where on a bouncer back to the mound, where some of the kids have died because they've taken that hit. I mean, and then you have I don't know if there are people actually trying to say that the vaccine could have caused this.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, right.
I mean, Twitter and the internet could be a crazy place at times.
Twitter was an ugly place last night. What are you guys' thoughts on the Skip Bayless stuff?
I think I don't know. I was really upset at first, and then I read into it a little bit more, read the previous tweet. I get where he was coming from. I think he just worded it really, really bad.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the NFL, and maybe he has the same wavelength of Roger Goodell. Okay, 5 minutes, let's go.
Yeah,
They
I
denied
don't know
that.
if they knew the severity of it at the time. Like,
They were
because
denying it, though.
there was the classic injury music commercial break,
Yeah.
and then they come back, and everyone's kind of huddled around, and that's when at least for me, I was like, whoa, this actually looks serious, because you see all the players, like I think they showed like Josh Allen,
Josh
kind
Allen,
of like getting teary,
That
and
look
a lot
on
of
the
people,
look on Josh Allen's face.
Yeah.
and a lot of people just saying like, oh my God, with their hands on their head. Like, you don't typically, like, if a guy fucked up his knee, like,
Or
you're not really going to get those type of
Well, even at
reactions.
concussions, you don't see that look on the face.
Yes, correct. Where it's, everyone's kind of been through this, but this, and then once your quote two is the first one I saw about the CPR. I mean, I can't even imagine seeing that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were weighing in with the mental toll of the players on the field, but I mean, it's tough seeing across the board.
And I'm hearing something that they obviously did the right thing canceling the game.
Yes.
That basically, the NFL wasn't going to cancel the game. Basically, both the players on both teams said, "Fuck you, we're not going to go out there. We're not going to play." The Bills don't want to play, and the Bengals said, if they don't want to play, we don't want to play.
Yeah.
And it was basically the players that took over and made them cancel that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were getting, like, you've seen, like, Stephon Diggs, like, trying to bring everybody together, pump them up. We got to
Sean
get back
McDermott,
up.
I think, did it before.
Yes.
And then
Yeah, and then they just broke it off, and then they went back to doing the same thing. Just
And then they went to the locker rooms and they showed because they waited an hour before they actually canceled the game. They had that I don't know what her name was, but she's like with the league office, and you saw them talking on the cell phones, and the coaches relaying to them. I'm pretty sure it was the players basically saying, "No, we're not playing," and that's why the league ended up finally calling the game.
They did the right thing. Like,
Oh, yeah,
as
it's the right
far
decision.
as suspending or maybe even canceling the game. The part that people don't want to talk about is this is an important game. I don't know what the NFL can really do with this, because teams that earn the number one seed, like, get by. This has potential to be a game that determines the number one seed. So how do they? And even if Kansas City wins this weekend, and it's between Cincinnati and Buffalo for the number 2 seed.
Yep.
These two teams could play, and it could depend on who gets home field advantage, which is a
advantage,
big
yeah.
deal. And I think all that is secondary to, obviously.
I think what the NFL needs to do in the future, and they obviously can't do it this year, is I think the NFL needs to start building an off week between the end of the regular season and the playoffs.
But that's kind of the advantage for teams getting the 1 seed, right? As they get that
No,
bye.
every team.
So you're like extending the season another week.
Yes. We want to get the season basically to present day weekend anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Super Bowl on the holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be
So you have a week, and maybe even go to 8 teams if you could do this. But basically, you give every team a week to reset, and have that week, that bye week, be a contingency week. That if anything happens in the season, where any game has to be canceled for any reason, you can schedule it that contingency bye week.
Yeah, I think that is certainly an option when they move to 18 games pretty soon, which I think is inevitable.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
We'll have to start the season earlier or whatnot for that to work, but it's certainly possible. One cool thing from Twitter last night is we saw Damar Hamlin's toy drive, which had a goal of, I believe, like pretty humble, like $2,500. As of last count, I think it was like $3.5, almost $4 million, which is crazy and obviously very generous from all the people watching. Obviously, terrible circumstances to have that happen, but very cool for. I don't even know. I guess this is going to be like a post-Christmas thing.
Yeah, toy drive.
But still great.
Shout out Chris Jericho. See what happened with Chris
I did.
Jericho? So he donated $5,000, but he spelled his name wrong. He spelled it CHRUS, Jericho. Realized the mistake, and then people were smashing him for, hey, you spelled your name wrong. And then he donated another $5K.
Oh, wow.
So good for Chris Jericho.
Y2J, good dude. But yeah, I mean, also, I guess let's just close out on this. How do you guys think ESPN handled this situation. This was one of the like moments in sports where, you know, the last time I watched like Sports Center this much after a game was like Malice at the Palace. Like I just want to see like what is the reaction, what is the like rapid
I think they
fire
did a good
against
job.
Ryan Clark especially.
I think Brian Clark was really good.
Brian Clark, who basically almost, who himself almost died by playing a game in Denver, and he was never allowed to play in Denver again because of it.
Yep. He has sickle cell and
Yep.
couldn't deal with the altitude, and gave some interesting perspective on Mike Tomlin,
Yeah.
your guy.
Yeah. No, Mike Tomlin shut him down.
Yeah.
Said, you know, if it was my son, I wouldn't let him play, and he didn't let him play.
Right.
But yeah, I think they did a good job for the circumstances. You know, they never been in that situation before.
Yep.
I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, we're taping this 12:15, 12:30. Damar Hamlin still in critical condition at the moment, but we obviously wish nothing but the best for him and his family and the Buffalo Bills organization moving forward. NBA last night, Donovan Mitchell making history, 71 points, the most since Kobe Bryant dropped 81 on the Raptors. Devin Booker had a 70-point game against the Celtics. David Robinson also had a 71-point game to win the scoring title against the Clippers way back when. Did you guys catch wind of this? Or it was great. It went into overtime, in fairness, but still a great performance.
Well, that scoring title that actually happened also previously. A guy named David Thompson won a scoring title that way. And what was funny was that David Robinson was battling Shaq for that scoring title, and the feel was that a lot of the league didn't like Shaq. That he was a little too brash and too bratty, and that the Clippers basically just let David Robinson just do whatever he wanted to do on the floor that night.
That was what, 95?
94, I think it was.
Yeah. What did you think about Donovan Mitchell putting the team on his back? Darius Garland out with a thumb injury.
I mean, you score 71 in a game and you go to overtime. That's a little, I don't know. I mean, it should be a blowout, no?
They're playing the Bulls.
Well, they both played. There was not a whit of defense played in that game.
There's no defense in the NBA anymore anyway. No, there's none. There's no defense. If Jordan was playing today, Jordan would drop 80 every game.
different with
80.
handcheck rules,
Jordan would have at least 200-point games a season.
You believe that, right, Frank?
Yeah.
Yep, no defense, right?
And I'm tired of anyone to even think that LeBron James, if he gets the scoring record, he's the best player of all time. No, he is not. They played defense when Jordan played. They didn't ask for days off on back-to-back nights. Jordan, except for maybe the year he was injured, and he had a leg injury like his second season.
Tell him, Frank.
Played like 80 games a year.
Yeah, he never missed a game, just because he knew that kids were paying ticket prices to go see him specifically.
Yeah.
Staying on the NBA topic, this isn't part of the actual rundown, but Luka Doncic, I mean, do you think he could eventually be the best ever to play? I mean, he's so young, putting up 60, 20, 10.
Was that the first ever?
Yes.
Wow.
Best ever? Probably not, but I think he could. I think in a year or two, you could actually definitively call him the best current player.
I think he's right there right now. Like,
Yeah, I think he's there. I think he's there.
He's top 5. He's already top 5.
He's top 3.
Top 3, yeah.
Yeah, he's top 3 right now.
Yeah.
Well, I always say
Who's
top.
your 5?
I'd have to go Giannis.
Okay.
I would go Doncic. I would go Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's playing really well right now.
I mean,
Say his name. It's all right, Frank.
I wouldn't say him. I mean, LeBron. I think LeBron is. I don't know if you can call him top 5 anymore. Nikola Jokic. Yeah, I think you have to call him part of the top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, I think
Steph
certainly
Curry, obviously.
in the discussion, especially
Tatum.
after this year. All right, let's move into the NFL. Sources close to Jim Harbaugh say it's a done deal.
Yep.
He will leave Michigan if an NFL team offers him a job. Obviously, he's having a lot of success in Michigan. Took him a while to build it up to where they are, playing in early January to national championship conversations. What do you think about this? He's a Michigan man.
Yeah.
Very good record as an NFL head coach. I think he's like 38-19 or something like that.
Can't
He's, like,
win the
very, very
big
good.
one.
That's what it
Can't
is.
win the big one. I mean, you lose to TCU, I mean, we're really gonna be watching a championship game where I mean, just crown Georgia now. I mean, TCU has zero chance. In fact, I think the game will be over.
This is good.
Will be over midway through the second quarter. I am predicting that Georgia beats TCU by 40.
Somebody's got to clip this.
TCU, there is no way. TCU,
but how is
Horned
there no
Frogs,
way?
the Horned Frogs, no. Michigan blew the chance of us having a great championship game by absolutely just playing the worst football game of the year in every facet of football. Pick sixes, turnovers,
but
then they still almost won the game.
I don't agree with that.
TCU is they're going to be down. They're going to be down so big at the end of the first quarter that people are going to be turning off the sets.
I don't agree with that. Ohio State showed that you could throw the ball on them.
Yeah.
TCU, Georgia is going to beat TCU. It's going to look like that Citrus Bowl game yesterday where LSU was up 49-0 at one point against Purdue. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be uninteresting. It's going to be a slaughter.
He should leave though because he's never going to win a national championship.
This was the year and he blew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was his best year, I think, to win it.
You guys are two guys, myself included, that have had frustrations with their current NFL head coach. Would you want Jim Harbaugh coaching your team?
No.
Start with Jerry.
No.
But you want your guy replaced.
I wanted him replaced.
Have you wavered on that?
I haven't. I've been back and forth. Listen, he's still mediocre. I mean,
if the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin, 1 second later, the Dolphins better be on the phone and reversing the mistake they made in 2007. Mike Tomlin is the type of coach you want in the NFL.
He's a good coach, but like
he's a Hall of Famer.
For the Steelers, they're just the last decade they've just been mediocre.
Mediocre. You haven't had a losing season in 20 years. Yeah, try being me. I've had 2 playoff appearances in 20 years.
Speaking of which, that might change this weekend.
Yes.
So we got some playoff scenarios. The Dolphins. You got to beat the Jets, and the Pats need to beat the Bills. How are you feeling this weekend?
The Bills need to beat the Pats.
Or sorry, Bills need to beat the Pats.
Yep.
How are you feeling this weekend about getting into the playoffs? And sure, you're not far off from that. Steelers make it with a win over the Browns and the Dolphins, and Patriots loss.
Well, Patriots, they're going to be playing for something. I mean,
yes.
The Patriots are going to be playing for something, and the Bills. So I think
at current taping, we have no idea what's happening with the Bills-Bengals game.
No,
but
the Bills should play everybody, which they'll probably blow out the Patriots.
I imagine the Bills will be playing. They'll be playing the game in Buffalo. I imagine they'll be playing with emotion. The best thing that could happen for both of us.
No.
Is for the Raiders to show some fucking heart.
Jared Stidham.
And beat the Chiefs on Saturday. That would put.
I don't want that to happen.
Why?
Don't you understand this? If they don't reschedule this game.
Oh, if they don't reschedule the game.
If they don't reschedule this game from yesterday. And the Raiders beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That means the Bills will be playing for the bye and home field. We want that. We want the Bills to have incentive and reason to want to win that game. And we want them to go out there and win that game. So we get the Patriots. We both need the Patriots to lose.
Yeah. I want the Bengals to have the number 2 seed.
And you want the Chiefs to be number 1 or Bills?
I don't care. I don't care who's number 1.
I don't know
because you want to play the Bengals.
Because I'd rather play the Bengals.
I don't know if it's possible to have the Bengals be the 2 seed and have the Bills go out and try to win.
We don't know what's going to happen with the Bengals-Bills game, obviously, but.
I mean, Dolphins.
Do you like your chances to get in the playoffs? Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season.
I mean, Dolphins have no chance to win that game with a third-string quarterback. He's a crumb.
Skylar Thompson couldn't beat the Pittsburgh Maulers. We have fucked it up again. We have a coach that looks like Dr. Pershing, like he wants to go kill Baby Yoda. I mean, either that or he's running a Starbucks barista and driving around in his smart car and telling us how winning is bad for the planet.
I mean, people don't realize this team was 8-3. This is one of the worst collapses I've ever seen.
It is the worst collapse, and they're $160 million over the cap, and they're gonna Tyreek Hill. reportedly has an opt-out, and if he opts out, the Dolphins will have a cap penalty that will make it impossible to sign players for the next 5 years, and they have no draft picks because we have the dumbest GM and the worst owner in the NFL. I hate you, Steve Ross. I hate you. And all he cares about is these celebrities on the orange carpet. Oh, good, we can focus on the celebrities. Oh, look, there's J-Lo. She's on the orange carpet. She's coming to watch the game with me. Because they put that out. Those are the emails the Dolphins are sending out because they fucking suck.
So if you guys win and the Bills beat the Patriots, you guys are in the playoffs.
Yes.
Does your tune change at all? Because what was your threat to him?
Oh, he's done. Walks are done. Late night diner trips, mini golf, talks on the phone. Done. Done. Finished.
The Dolphins have no shot. Skylar Thompson is a
Is Tua 100%
bum.
out?
Yeah, he's 100% out.
Okay.
The thing is, they don't. The coach said that it's up in the air with Teddy Bridgewater, right? He said we're focusing on
Teddy Bridgewater sucks.
Yeah, but they're focusing on them too.
There's a quarterback who cannot throw. In fact, you can say that he blows. If he starts, you're sure to lose. That's why if you have Teddy Bridgewater, he will let you down.
Ugh.
That was one of my favorites from Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, on the sheet it says, would anybody like to apologize for their behavior? Jerry, I'll remove you from this.
Yeah.
Frank, you and I had a little spat on Sunday.
Is he in?
Close if it's not. They're giving it to him.
Here's my prediction for the Dolphins next year.
Frank, shut the fuck up for 5 minutes! Jesus Christ! We're all here! Fuck! My team is fucking clinched the division. I want to hear about the fucking Teddy Bridgewater!
I want to make the playoffs!
I don't care!
The Mets missed the playoffs! The
You-
Devils missed the playoffs! I haven't seen a playoff win
Jesus Christ!
in 40
Shut up!
fucking years!
Shut up! We listened to this for 3 fucking hours!
The Patriots
Shut up!
We've
We've just listened to this for 3 hours!
They suck and they're
Your
in the
game is
playoffs!
over! Your game
We
is
reign
over!
free!
Your game is over! Turn it off! They're down 9! They don't even have the ball!
I can smiling. I can going. He's got his Greta Thunberg t-shirt underneath.
Frank, I like you. You're being an asshole.
Frank, can't you guys win next week and get in?
Nope.
I explained to you after I did apologize for the language, which I should not have used.
And at the same, I wasn't even paying attention to the Bucks.
Let him finish, Frank. Let him
No,
go.
that was.
I wasn't even paying attention to the Bucks. At the same time that was happening, the Dolphins had a pick six allowed, and then after the pick six,
That's fake news, Frank.
That's not the correct timeline.
But after pick six, the Bills had the Patriots had a drive where they converted 4 straight third and longs.
Right after that happened, right after our spat, the Patriots had the ball and they went for it. I think it was 4th and 4, and the Dolphins got either a sack or forced an incompletion with a quarterback
a sack.
pressure, and didn't hear a peep out of you.
No.
And that was immediately after. So the timeline of your events are incorrect.
Well, I've been ripped for 20 years. The Dolphins have been nothing but shit. I think the Dolphins are the shittiest organization in the NFL over the last 20 fucking years.
Compared to everyone in the room, and Jerry's seen, success as far as winning records and stuff like that, Super Bowls in the past, 2 decades.
Yep.
I saw Super Bowl, a couple years ago, followed by a lot of.
I haven't had a
preceded by lot
playoff
of
win
mediocrity.
since 2000.
But if the Dolphins get into the playoffs, which is very realistic,
Oh, yeah.
There's no shot.
does your tune change? I think you need to go on the record with, if they do make the playoffs, then some reparations need to be made as far as you need to either apologize to the Dolphins or be positive or something like that, because
I'll tell
from
you
Jerry
what.
and I are in the cave every week.
I'll tell you what. If they make the playoffs, I would just want one thing.
To win a playoff game?
No. Because that's impossible now. I want to go into the 4th quarter where the game is close. That's it.
Define close, just so we have this.
One score.
One score. So 8 points or less.
Yes.
8 points or less going into 4th, and then what? You will be happy? You won't complain? Set some parameters for this.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want. But what happens if that
I'd
happens?
say that they'd at least salvage the season.
So you will be happy with that. That'll be a win in your book. Playoffs, entering the fourth quarter, 8-point winning or 8-point deficit or less. You will be happy with this season.
Somewhat, but I just...
No, it's never gonna happen.
Will you if
He'll
that
never be
happens,
happy.
if that happens, will you admit Mike McDaniel's a good coach?
I'd be willing to give him another year.
Would
They
there
were
be
8-3. They were 8-3. They don't deserve the playoffs. They've collapsed. It's over. This is the 2007 Mets, and the 2007 Mets caused the Dolphins to go 1-15. You watch the 2022 Dolphins are going to cause the Mets to have a epic failure. Carlos Correa is going to fall through,
Think
and
those things are correlated?
Darren Ruff.
Did you see what he just posted on his Instagram story today? It's a picture of his kid in a I Heart New York onesie.
No, someone showed me a picture and they had blooper on the shirt.
No, yeah. You believe everything.
all right, so that's it. We have the parameters. We know this. I mean, this Sunday is going to be incredible. We got
Yep.
potential playoff team in the Steelers, potential playoff team in the Dolphins, potential
Here's
playoff
my
team in Hank,
prediction.
maybe Dave even.
Here's my
Patriots.
prediction. Here's my prediction for the Jets Dolphins game. The Dolphins will lose and not score a point.
Okay.
The last time you said they weren't going to score a point was the 88-0 game when they beat. Was that Baltimore?
Yeah.
I actually said they wouldn't score last
Because
week
Baltimore returned the opening kickoff, right? In that game.
Well, they were good.
Yeah,
They were up 21-0 in midway third quarter,
Yeah.
first quarter.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's the update from the cave. Can we have a handshake and move forward? I genuinely like
There you
Frank.
go.
We had a tough moment.
But you
I'm
gotta
ready to
understand
move
how
past
fucking
it.
frustrating it is.
I know, but
8-3.
I
So all they had to do was win one game, and they'll be in the playoffs.
I explained to you after in a one-on-one, or Doug's was there, so a one-on-two conversation, that I wasn't upset with your ranting at all. I genuinely enjoy most of those, but it was more just the timing of it. You got to let other people have their
Moment.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was probably not
Like
the
I
time.
said, I wasn't even paying attention to the Bucks at that point.
I
mean-
won't apologize for anything. I mean, I yelled at Frank. I told him the Dolphins are done next week.
And
They're done.
and then I went into the tailspin. So you need to take that walk threat and walk it up to
Congratulations.
bank.
Saying that, what was the name of it? You're saying there's a chance, parlay?
Yeah, plus 700.
Big one.
Gonna have another one this week.
All
Steelers
right.
money line, Bills money line, and
You
Jets money
know,
line.
yesterday I did something I never do as a Notre Dame fan, and that was I bet on USC to win, and they fucking fucked me. And I hate USC. I hate them, and you know what I hate most about USC? That annoying band.
But at least, well, I don't know.
So
You-
you know there was the $10 I lost, and I actually kind of felt good about because I fucking hate USC.
USC had a first-round quarterback several years ago, Mark Sanchez, went to the Jets, but at least the Jets have some of the best uniforms in the NFL.
Yeah.
The Jets have the worst uniforms in the NFL. They look like something a high school team would wear. Jets! They look like the Jets uniforms. Look like something that a television show that can't get licensing for real uniforms puts together. And it says Jets and has a football underneath. I mean, it is so bad. It looks like it's generic. It reminds me of Pathmark. They used to have these Pathmark. Yeah, it was a shop.
Yep,
It was a
grocery
super
store, yep.
grocery store around here. And they had generic, which is a Pathmark brand, which had the word Pathmark, it had the logo on it. And they had an even worse brand. And they were called No Frills. And let me tell you, No Frills, they tasted the can tasted better than the fucking vegetables that were in the goddamn can. And they were white and it just said No Frills on it.
How was the ham last night? Last point.
I might have cooked it about maybe 20 minutes too late.
20 minutes.
You know, where you live now used to be a Pathmark, right?
Yes, I do.
It was the Pathmark parking lot where you live.
Well, before that, it was the Edison battery factory.
Yep.
And it's highly toxic
Oh,
ground.
yeah.
All right. that
In
was
fact,
good.
my grandmother used to go to Pathmark. She'd take the shopping cart, her little hand cart. She'd walk down the 10th, walk past where I lived on Avenue, walk down street.
Yeah,
And then
let's slow
over
down on
to-
where we live. Let's not say the streets, Frank. I mean, just dropping my street right there.
But he didn't say that in your street. I mean, you didn't say you didn't
People
say
put
it.
2 and 2 together, Frank.
All right, that's the rundown. Best of luck. As we said, we're taping this now for Damar Hamlin, his family, Buffalo Bills organization.